Hello, how you doing today again? Welcome to another episode of Ubuntu and Open Source. So in continuation of my playlist, Introduction to Computers, we're going to take a look at Manjaro LXDE. As always, I start with the panel settings, or preferences. So as you can see, I can position it to the bottom, to the top, to the left, to the right. I like to keep mine on the bottom. And so if I want to adjust the size, I can just by clicking on the arrows or typing it in. You can then center it or align it to the left, align it to the right. Mine, I like to always keep full width. And so then we come to the icons here. Now the height is 26 and the icons are shown to be 28. So let me increase this 2 more. There we go. Everything should be the same. Monitor, I only have one monitor. Margin. As you can see on the right side, there's something happening. Now if I click a line to the left, then the space happens on the left side. So I leave 0 for margin. Appearance. I always like to use a system theme. Custom color. Size is for the fonts if I decide to change something. Panel applets, we're going to look at that in a second. Advanced. Set the preferred application for a file manager, PC, Man FM, terminal emulator, LX terminal. Make window managers treat the panel as a dock, reserve space, and not covered by maximized windows. So if I were to uncheck this, then bring in focus or active, the active window to be my mouse pad here, or leaf pad. If I maximize it, oh, that's right. I always keep on forgetting. If I close it, did I do this right? As you can see, part of this here I can't see. But if I go back to my panel preferences, let's try another one. Let's go to all my graphic ones. As you can see here, I don't see the status bar on the bottom here. And part of the bottom of the program is getting cut off. So it's not treating it as a dock anymore. So I've unmaximized, moved this up some. I'll go back to panel settings or preferences, back to advanced. Then I close it out. There, as you can see, when I fully maximize it, I even now see the arrow here for the right side of my application light zone here in the sidebar. And you can see also that the panel is also darker. It's not translucent anymore. So I like to keep those settings there. So let's go back to panel applets. And again, I'm going to start right to left. So the application launcher, which is this here button, if I click on it, I can shut down, reboot, suspend, switch user, log out, etc., etc. I'm not going to do any of that right now. I can lock the screen. I'm not going to do that right now either. If we click on preferences, these are the two applications that are in this particular launcher to the right. Now, as usual, I like to say that the right side is considered to be the notification area, the whole right side. Linux just likes to break it up. Next is the multi-load ng, which shows what my system's doing. Temperature in Celsius, disk reads and writes, network, upload, download, RAM being used, and the processor activity, which the only reason is pretty active right now is because it's simple screen recorder. Then we come to the digital clock. I can go to preferences, and this is the clock format that I like to have everything both in the clock format that's shown and in the tooltip. So if I hover over clock, I get the day, the month, the date, the year, the current time in my time zone, right down to the seconds. System tray or notifications. So the system tray consists of what you see here. My simple screen recorder icon, my Dropbox icon, my wired Ethernet plugin, and my ZimWiki here. If I right click on ZimWiki, I can close it. If I left click on the Ether network, I can get information, or right click, I can edit connection or get the connection information. My Dropbox, whether I left click or whether I right click, I get the same menu. And simple screen recorder, whether I left click, the window opens up again, and the right click, I get the menu where I can pause, cancel, save recording, or hide window, or quit the application itself. The next panel applet is the weather plugin, which is what you see right here. And if I hover over it, this is the information I get. If I left click, I get this open window. If I right click, I can get to the weather plugin settings or add more items or remove to the panel settings and create a new panel. Volume control, the very last one here, volume up control is set to 5. I can lower it, raise it. Taskbar or window list, as Linux likes to call it, a window list. Now these are all the open applications here. And just like in Microsoft Windows, you click on it, minimize it, you click on it again, it restores it or brings it into focus. I'm going to close that one. So you can see on my window list or taskbar, I can close windows right from there. I don't have to go up here and hit the close. And then we get to a spacer that's in there. And then the application launch bar. Now this one's set up different. This one's set up like a quick launcher. And you can see I hit preferences here. Or if I were to right click application bar settings, and you still get to the applications that you can add or remove. So you can just simply add, and there you go. There's LeafPad. Or if I want to remove it, I go over here, highlight it, and remove it, and it's gone. And so that's the quick launchers. Then we come to a spacer again in between Opera and the main menu. Now if we go to add, there's only one menu launcher for LXDE, my Manjaro LXDE. So we hit preferences. We can change the icon if we like, but I'm not going to. But what I want to show you is the menu part. So if I click on the menu, I get the log out, which is this right here, the same as this button over here all the way to the right, application, launcher. I can reboot, suspend, hibernate, all that same stuff. I can run a command, and it's going to bring up some things that it's familiar with to execute, and say OK. And here we go, Firefox. Favorites. Favorites is a little different. That one I added myself, which is neat in Linux, is that you can create your own menu to your liking. And the application I had to install was Menu Editor. Interesting. Okay. And so what I had to do is add directory that I'm going to delete. Say OK. But I did all the work that was necessary to create favorites in the icon here, and underneath it are the applications I installed in my favorites. That would be a whole nother video. But what's neat about Linux is you can create your own favorites, your own. You can see up here, I created my own Play on Linux. Because that's not normal in LXDE. It normally comes under games, Play on Linux. So I kind of edited it and changed it myself. So here are my preferences. And from preferences up, from sound and video all the way up to accessories, is the normal categories with exception to Play on Linux, which normally comes under games. So sound, video, programming, office, internet, graphics, games, and Play on Linux. Education, Chrome apps came up when I logged into my Google Chrome and accessories. And in Linux, you will find that the menu, as I said before, groups it down into categories. And so let's show the desktop itself. So if I right click and I go to desktop preferences, I can change my wallpapers and change the text. Now I've created my own wallpapers folders so I can change the wallpapers, create wallpapers and put them in there. Desktop icons, just as any others. Advanced. So if I unclick this, those go away. Use desktop as a folder, show icons on it by path. So now if I right click, that's all I get. Show menus provided. So if I right click, I get all these categories. System, Thanar, system. Now this is pretty much default. I normally don't use this. And if I highlight this one again, you can see everything comes back. Sometimes you have to recheck these so everything comes out. But I need to get back to desktop preferences. So if you have a little bit of trouble there, you can always get back to the menu through it. There we go. And so now with the normal preferences, I can even create a folder here if I want to. Select all, open as root. That would be here, which I don't want to do right now. Sort files or icons. So now let's go to LibreOffice. I mean, PC Man FM, which is the LXDE default file manager. So what's common? What else is common in this LXDE of Manjaro? Was we got the close windows, the maximize and restore button, the minimize, the Windows title bar, and the Windows button, which send the desktop, layers, always on top, move, resize, iconify, maximize, and as particular to Linux, roll up, roll down, roll up, down. And why am I getting this? There we go. Okay. Then we come to the other two parts. The menu bar here. Bookmarks, view, edit, etc. The toolbar here. bring it to home, go up a level, bring it back to home, tabs, or open another window. Then we come to the left sidebar. Now we can either go to places or tree directory, but you get this option in the drop down anyway. But what's unique and different? Okay, so this is all the same in the sidebar. The status down here at the bottom, that's the same. And same down here with free space. But what's unique and different in this particular file browser, view dual pane. So I can have more than one column up here. This one can only have this one and another one. And so if I want to go someplace, I can right click and open up in a new tab. And so if I keep on opening up my windows, my file browser in that way, as you can see up here in this bar, I can see the folder where I've gone to. So let's do artwork. But if I go back, I can go back to another one and say, let's do. So you see I have these different panels, these different tabs open now. And I'm in different folders. Now if I click on this one over here, I go back to places. In places is applications. Now I can really do some fun stuff if I wanted to. Not only can I manage different folders and files, open with image viewers, I can even open up applications as well. Now with Manjaro LXDE, Manjaro is what's called a rolling release. Manjaro is built upon Arch, and Arch usually stays with the most cutting edge of software. So if I go to help here about LibreOffice, we can see we're already at version 6.0.0.3. Manjaro likes to be a little bit reserved because I know we're at 6.0.3, I think, if I were to install a Windows version. Or if I were to download and install a Windows version. So this one is a little bit behind, but it's still version 6. And all I had to do with my Manjaro was to do an update, and it automatically installed to the latest and greatest LibreOffice, which is 6 right now. I didn't have to do an install like I show in my FreeSpire. And so what's the same here? Let me close out this. We still have the close, maximize, restore, minimize. The Windows title bar, which is the same but different because it's showing LibreOffice Writer and the name of the file. And the Windows button. And we still have our file menu. And then our toolbar. So if I were to highlight this, I could do left, I could do center, I could do justify, and then save. So that's the same, but different, because it has its menus and its toolbars that are particular to LibreWriter. LibreOffice Writer. The right sidebar and the left sidebar was the same in this LibreOffice as it was, as if you would see in the file browser. The status bar down here, but it's particular to LibreOffice Writer. And so, there you go. Manjaro LXDE. Thank you.